Je parle français aussi. I never say it. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video about the Sisterlocks shampoo. It is actually the only product that I use. I don't even spray my hair with water. So I wanted to talk about the Sisterlocks shampoo because really there's not going to be a lot of product reviews on my YouTube channel because of my hair. I might do product reviews for things that I use for my daughters, but I don't know. So I personally like the Sisterlocks shampoo. I think it's a good product. I think it serves its purpose and I think it does it really well. The shampoo is $25 here where I purchase it, $25 Canadian plus tax. And you go through this bottle, in my experience, it's pretty fast. Because I don't wash my hair every week like I used to, it does last me longer than if I did my wash day routine every week. But it doesn't last long for the type of products that it is, in my opinion. I have shampoos lasting longer than this, but it's a good product. I decided to use it even before my Sisterlocks journey because I had microlocs right before, and it was a good shampoo even for microlocs because the goal of the shampoo is to help your hair lock. It will lift the cuticles, make them mat together and be together, stay together instead of unraveling and, you know, loosening up like your regular moisturizing shampoo would do. When I was natural, my favorite shampoo was a super moisturizing shampoo. It was the Care Hydrating Detangling Shampoo, and it was the bomb. I still use it for my daughter, actually, when I can find it. Otherwise, I use the Cream of Nature Detangling Shampoo. So my favorite shampoos when I was natural to use with my daughters, especially the little one, because I still have to do her wash days myself. My teenager can do her own thing herself. So for my little one, the moisturizing detangling shampoo is like a best friend because I can't do her hair if it's all tangled and matted. And this shampoo really does the job for me. So anytime I find a good detangling shampoo, I keep it on my list and my roster. And whichever shampoo I find when I go to the beauty supply store, I will get that. The Care Detangling Shampoo, it's hard to find here in Montreal. So people from Montreal, if you have any tips, you are welcome to give them to me because I want to know where to get the shampoo easily. I used to get it at Mama Africa, but that was a few years ago. And the last few times I went, they didn't have it. So that was really heartbreaking. I know I can find it online, but online is not always the best for these kind of products. They charge shipping and it's expensive, but those shampoos were my favorite shampoos. So this is what I have here for my daughters, but I can't use those shampoos for my locks. I don't want my locks to unravel. I used to spray my hair with aloe vera gel when I wanted to detangle my hair because my hair loves aloe vera gels, but I'm not using that product on my hair, knowing what it does to my hair specifically. I'm not using it like that to spray my hair. I hear people who do, but I can't do it. So the goal of the shampoo is to be not as moisturizing so that you can just reap the benefits of having your locks stay together and really matte gradually, because it's a gradual process. So if you don't use the right products, it will just deter your progress and make it hard for you to get to that goal. Another reason I love the Sisterlocks shampoo is because of the smell or the fact that it is unscented. I love that. I actually am someone who is kind of sensitive to smells, so I don't like products that are super fruity or super flowery. I actually can't stand the flower kind of smells. And so I'm really particular even with fragrance like perfume. I don't wear perfume hardly ever. My husband, my family, they don't wear perfume. because of me, actually, I think. I can't stand the smell of perfume most of the time. If I'm like in public transportation with somebody who wore the bottle, I will start sneezing. It really affects me like a lot. So I'm really sensitive to smells. And so for products like Shea Moisture, to me are really strong, and the scent is really strong, and I don't enjoy that. My preference is for unscented or lightly scented, like, you know, that baby detergent that you use on your baby's clothes when, you know, it's a newborn. That's what I used to buy for my babies, and I don't know which brand really. It's really light. It doesn't really overpower. It doesn't smell like anything. I really enjoy that. For people who like smells to linger and, you know, make their hair smell good, it might not be a great product. But I think that you can supplement with something else to make your hair smell like something if you want, and still use this shampoo, you know, like a spray, you know, or something like that. So I'm really, really glad that this product is unscented, because I would have to find an alternative, and I'm really glad I don't have to. The way I use it, it's pretty simple. I've talked about it before, but I put my shampoo in a squeeze bottle, add some water to it. No ratio, nothing really precise. It's just to dilute it a little bit so it's easier to go through my braids. When I braid and band and I wash my hair, the squeeze bottle helps me to just get to every lock and get to every inside of every braid. It's easier like that, but it doesn't really say to do that. It doesn't say to dilute it, and it's really thin and watery, so I don't think you really have to do that. My advice, because I have sensitive scalp, is to, when you put your product in the squeeze bottle, use it all up right away. Don't keep the little bit left for another time, because that's just asking for bacteria, mold, and things like that. You don't need that in your locks, and you don't need that on your scalp. So my advice, I had to teach myself to stop doing that home chemistry thing that I used to do, and mixing stuff and then leaving them on the counter or even in the fridge. I've stopped mixing things, and if I do mix it, I try to use it up right away at the same time that I just mixed it. I don't want it to go bad. I don't want it to affect me and my health. That's a reason I do not advise co-washing, because I don't think co-washing is good for the scalp. And I think that in a good hair journey, you have to really think about your scalp before you think about your hair. So good rule of thumb is, if you have to do a little bit of mixing and doing things like that, you know, the deep conditioning, I used to mix my deep conditioners with oils with other things. If you do that, that's great. But I would say use it up right away. Don't leave anything for the next time. Don't leave anything that you've pre-mixed. And yeah, that's my advice on that. That is pretty much what I wanted to say about the Sisterlocks shampoo. I think it's a great product. I think that it does what it needs to do. And I think that it's a product that you use mainly to help your hair lock. I think you should stick with it for the long run, and yes, eventually branch out and try something else. But I hope that was helpful for people who were on the fence, for people who wanted to hear another opinion about questions. As usual, leave them down below. I love chatting with you guys down there. Don't hesitate. Je parle français aussi. I never say it, but je suis canadienne, québécoise, montréalaise. Donc, si vous avez des questions, vous parlez français, je peux répondre en français aussi. So don't hesitate. I was saying that I speak French, and that if you are French, or if you speak French, you can leave your questions below. I will answer them in French or in English. Oh my god, I just wanted to say thank you to my new subscribers. Since last video, I got like 20 subscribers, and I was like, oh my god, that's a lot for me. I'm a small YouTuber. So guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Well, thank you so much for watching, and yes, if you liked it, subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.